Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Saka here, and welcome back to the next episode of NASCAR Racing 2003 season. We are doing a 400-mile race today in beautiful Las Vegas. It's 1.5 miles, pretty fast for a mile and a half for sure. This race should go by fairly quickly. We have 27 laps of the race, and we have 22 in the tank. So that allows a lot of flexibility for this pit stop strategy. We may be able to get away with 2 tires. We may have to do 4. We'll just sort of have to see how the cards lay. We are in 3rd place behind pole sitter Jimmy Johnson with Martin Truex Jr. on the outside of row 1. And let's go racing. Come on, Jimmy. Green flag is in the air. Let's give Jimmy Johnson a push. He can thank me later. Let's see if we can get clear of the 78 here going into turn 1. Up to 4th gear, we keep the throttle matted. In this first turn, we can't seem to get a bite on Jimmy. Looking up, I think we're clear. And let's see if we can run away from Truex. We'll settle in behind Jimmy Johnson, and we can start thinking about pit stops. With 27 laps, 13 or lap 14 would be the halfway mark, which we could certainly do with fuel. We could also go all the way to lap 20 or so and have 7 good laps at the end of this race. Let's look under Jimmy Johnson here and go for the lead. We have cleared him off the corner. That's what I'm talking about. Let's use these tires while they are good and see if we can outrun Jimmy Johnson. He is really fast this weekend. Good to see the 48 running up front after the last couple weeks. Jimmy Johnson really hasn't shown much strength, but here at Vegas, of course, Jimmy Johnson, a multi-time winner here at Vegas, it only makes sense that he would be a strong competitor against us here. Let's try to split the dots here. Those dots are actually on the track, and when I went to Charlotte and raced the Jeff Gordon Mario Andretti Racing School, those dots were where you would place your car. So I'm sure Vegas would do something similar for the driving schools to make sure that the drivers keep it between the dots so they don't get out too close to the wall. And it's a good, baseline racing line, although we're not following it. We pushed a little bit too hard into turn 1. Tires should start falling off in a few laps time. We are running hard, and looking to the inside, there's William Byron in the 24. So this kid is having a pretty strong run this season so far. Good strong showing at both Daytona and Atlanta, and it looks to be leading here at Vegas. Martin Truex Jr. will follow him down to the bottom. Yeah, we pushed too hard going into that turn. We hit that bump and up the track. We washed out Jimmy Johnson. We'll follow under, and we have Kyle Larson to our inside. All right, we'll give him some room here. There goes Brandon in the 27, following Kyle Larson through, and it looks like Daniel Suarez is behind him. Oh, Larson with the checkup. We'll take advantage of that, see if Brandon can do anything with Jimmy. Maybe make some holes for us to follow through. Brandon scraping there on the high lane, getting everything he can out of that. Doesn't look like it's affecting his speed much. And it's a 2-car roadblock in front of him. Suarez looking to the inside of us, followed by the 18 of Kyle Busch. So we'll see if we can get a hole behind Kyle here. We'll hold strong on the outside, see if we got anything for him. But ultimately, I think the bottom will prevail. And in fact, here comes Ricky Stenhouse Jr. to the inside. Put Ricky Stenhouse in the top 10. Brandon washing up the track, forced up 3 wide. That was hairy. So it looks like the AI is really going for broke here. There's a hole that Brandon can fit in if he chooses. He's sticking to the high lane. Maybe he can get to the outside of Stenhouse. Nope, we'll line up single file here and come to 20 laps to go. We're about 7 laps away from pit stops. Ow! Didn't mean to get into the wall like that. And it looks like Stenhouse moved up, causing Brandon to evade. We're under the 27 now. Side by side, I still think he's up there. We'll see if we can clear him going into turn 3 here. But Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Definitely put the brake check on Brandon there going into turn 1. And when you miss your mark entering these turns at these speeds, your whole turn is messed up. All right, looking to the inside is that, Bowman. Alex Bowman is looking there on the inside in the 88 Nationwide Camaro. We'll see if we can keep touch with the leaders. We might be able to do some pit strategy to make our way up. As long as we can see the leader, Martin Truex Jr., of course, we've got a shot at it. Especially since these tires are going to start wearing down, start coming in. We power around the 88 of Alex Bowman. Either that or he gave us the spot. Redlining the car just a touch going into turn number 1. As long as they're single file, these guys are going to fly. I don't know if we can close up any room, but if cars are staying side by side, though, that'll give us a chance. William Byron pushed up to the outside groove. We'll make up some ground on him. Don't clip that wall, please. Thank you. And now 17 laps to go. We are getting pretty close to pit stops. Laps are ticking by very quickly. Owen Stenhouse is going to try to take the top. We'll see if we can fit on the bottom. No, under the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. The Hendrick teammates stuck up on the high lane. I think Ricky can keep a hole open for us here. Let's see if we can get under the 48 and under the 24. Power off the corner here. Yeah, William Byron is losing some grip off of 4. We've cleared him, and now we've made up a twofer. 2 in 1 corner certainly isn't bad. Oh, Stenhouse doing that thing again. He was up top, and then he comes down with the brake check. Brandon in the mirror. So now Brandon gets to see what we saw him do with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Let's try the high lane. See if I can get my fender to the outside. No, we do not have the drive off, so it looks like the high lane off of 4, there's really no grip up there to be had. And no real reason to be pushing the issue. We have pit stops coming up in just a little bit, so as long as we can have a decent pit stop, we should shake out within striking distance. We might do something like a 2-tire change if the left side tires are holding up well, but as much as I'm pushing up in this corner, it feels like 4 tires would be the best way to go. It would probably be way too tight on 2 right side tires for us to do anything with these leaders. We would make up some ground, though, if they all took 4 tires. I just don't know how much. They're recommending 1 can on pit road, so that's pretty much right side tires only if we wanted to time that appropriately. If we can get down to a half a can of fuel, then we would definitely consider just a right side change to get off pit road. But as long as it's staying 1 can recommended, 4 tires might not be too bad as far as the overall grip is concerned. Lap traffic is now coming into the picture. Ricky Stenhouse under the 18 of Kyle Busch. That's good for us if we can follow Ricky through. We may be able to get under Kyle here. We'll just see how this shakes out, which line prevails. It looks like the top is prevailing a little bit. We just need to drive off. There we go. We're on the outside with 17. Let's follow the 18 through. Massive arrow push on corner exit. Let's see if we can get under the 18 now. See if we can get a twofer here. It should be pretty tight, but we should be coming down to pit road this time. We want to be on the bottom of the racetrack. We'll see if we can follow Daniel Suarez in. And I think 4 tires is going to be the call. So under the 62 here, the black spot on the wall, there we go. Let's downshift. Oh, loose, 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 loose. All right, let's whip it around, 360, no scope. All right, as long as we didn't spin, we'll be okay. We lost a ton of time there, but 4,000 RPM in second gear is the limit. So we might have lost 2 or 3 seconds from that spin. It could have been a whole lot worse. I don't think we have any damage to be concerned with, except for maybe that wall smack, but Darlington stripe. All right, boys, 4 tires and fuel, let's do it. All right, right sides are on. We're not going to repair the damage. We should be okay. All right, drop the jack, boys. Let's go. Down and away. Pit stops are complete. You can see Brandon in front of us exiting pit road. We are in the 3rd pit stall, so we can accelerate hard out of the box and probably not even get up to pit road speed. So we can launch off of pit road as fast as we can. Be sure not to cross that solid white line until we get to the backstretch. There we go. Lap car goes by, but I believe he is going to pit this time, so we should make up some good ground here on him. Just be careful here while he pits. Yes, indeed. All right, clear track in front of us, 4 fresh tires. This is make or break time here. We have to make up as much ground as possible, and I'm feeling pretty good with this clear racetrack. We can lay down some pretty quick lap times on these fresh tires and hope that these guys stay out of our way as best as possible. Leader is on pit road now. That's a good sign. We should be able to get our lap back, so we don't need it to cycle through. It would be extremely helpful for it to cycle through, especially with us going as hard as we can here. But we should be able to get our lap back just fine. Still showing in the mid-20s, but that should change come next lap as we pass these guys back. And I believe for position, there was Martin Truex Jr. We've got a couple of cars blending up top. Bubba Wallace in the 43. Let's go around the outside and see if we can pick him off here. We have another slow car. That's the 00 of Jeffrey Earnhardt. Move out of the way, man. We've got things to do. So that is absolutely killer. And I don't think Brandon had to mess with these guys. So if he got around these guys, you know, he is in clear sailing. But we're back in the top 10 now, fighting with these lap cars. Let's see if we can get under the 43 here. Now we'll roll it and try to keep momentum on the outside. Now they do have fresh tires. Technically they should be faster than us, but I mean they're lap cars, so they're not going to be going as fast. Casey Kane throws the block on Bubba Wallace. We will go around them both. That's what I like to see. Casey Kane helping out a fellow Camaro, it seems, probably inadvertently. He had no clue he was doing that. Wait, William Byron should have already pitted. We're running in second, and we are lapping William Byron. So we are going to have to see what happened to poor William Byron. He was running up front with us. Did he just wait too long? And, well, no, because Brandon's shown the leader 5 seconds in front of us. William Byron was nowhere around. We've got Martin Truex Jr. in third, however. We're going to keep an eye out and see if he can catch us and if we can catch Brandon. Ideally, we want a lot of lap traffic in front of him to help us close this gap, as we have pretty clear racetrack and we can run as hard as we possibly can here. I'm not seeing anyone in front of us, so hopefully Brandon's tied up in traffic. We did shave some time off there. Laps will be clicking away very quickly though. We're down to 5 laps to go, so that's, I mean, a whole second a lap, and we only took off 0.2. But there's a group. If he is up in that group, then I think we may have a chance here. We're certainly going to try. Go for broke. Coming off the corner, let's see how our interval is now. Yeah, we shaved off some more time. Martin Truex Jr. is hanging tough back there in third, though. He's staying right in my mirror. I can't let him pass me or this is all over, at least for a shot at the win. Yeah, Martin looks like he is content to stay behind me, although I'm not really letting him by at this stage in the race. Coming across the line, so Brandon was across the line, 3 laps to go. We shaved a whole second off of that one. We should be seeing him fairly quickly. And what I wouldn't give for this to be like a 32 lap race or something, because we are definitely shaving off time. Brandon is in that group right in front of us, and each lap that goes by we can shave off a little bit. However, you know, the race is nearly ending, so we got to do something. There we go, 2 laps to go. Come across the line. Yeah, we made a little bit of progress there, not as much as the last lap for sure. So it looks like Ryan Blaney tied up Brandon a little bit, but we're around Blaney nice and easy. And I mean, there's a big pack of cars right there. I mean, it is possible, especially if Brandon has to slow down tremendously to adjust his line here. But there we go, white flag is in the air. Brandon is the next car in front of us. We shaved a little bit more off, and if these lap cars can just back up just a little bit, maybe even run 3 wide. I mean, he's right there in the windshield. Man, what I wouldn't give for a few more laps. Man, those lap cars needed to be just a little bit slower and a little bit wider, unfortunately. But checkered flag up in the air. Brandon will take race number 3 right there. Man, what a race indeed. So, based on the early speed, it looked like we were beaten by Martin Truex and Kyle Busch. And Even Ricky Stenhouse was giving us a run for the money, but after pit stops, it shook out in our favor. It's a good thing we did take 4 tires, though. Those left sides were pretty scuffed, but we were giving it all she had as well. But congratulations to Brandon. He will be our first 2-time winner this season. There's William Byron. Speaking of which, we are going to have to look and see what happened to William Byron there. His right side, I believe, was pretty damaged. So once we pit and park in our pit stall and hope we hit the right pit board, because everyone on pit road has the same pit board, we'll see what happened. We'll go to the television camera here. And there we go. In our spots, let's go ahead and get out of the car here and see what happened to Byron. So there we were on pit road. I'll see when we made up all of that ground. Now let's just take a look at Byron and see. Okay, so he comes on pit road, but his right side is really scuffed. So it happened this lap. So there he is, riding nice and high behind the 42. We have Blaney right behind him. Everything looks good. Okay, so coming off the turn, everything still looks good. Maybe this is where it happens. He gets under the 42 of Kyle Larson, into him just a little bit. He's got the inside. He's really squeezing Larson. Oh, and Larson pits, jacks him up into the wall. A hard hit for William Byron. So, yeah, it looked like Byron was not pitting, and Larson was. And they just disagreed on that real estate. That is rough indeed. So let's take a look at the standings after Vegas as they are. Kurt Busch is your cutoff driver. Chase Elliott and Jimmy Johnson tied 4 positions out. Brad Keselowski with 6. In front of the cutoff, we have Ricky Stenhouse, Jamie McMurray, and Ryan Blaney all 2 positions ahead, with Clint Boyer and Denny Hamlin just 3 positions ahead. So it is a pretty knockout, drag-out fight for that 16th cutoff spot. And there's Brandon with his 2nd win of the year. But that's going to do it from me in this episode of NASCAR Racing 2003 season. Ladies and gentlemen, like, share, and subscribe if you are so bold. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next week. Take care.